Hey everyone, this is Dan's First Person Looter, and I am very tired, and but I might have some time to play today, so I'm going to, and I got an Easy Pass warning when I went through the Easy Pass saying Contact Service Center. I called the number, and it was just all automated stuff with very limited options, and when I tried to get a representative, it hung up on me. So fuck Easy Pass, I'm not going to, whatever they need. I don't know. I'm not contacting them. I tried once. That's all I'm doing. They hung up on me. Detailed instructions. So I'm probably going to need that.
So,
oh.
What did you want to discuss?
No!
Away, I received an unusual transmission.
We did all this. We did all this, but I want to make sure that the game registers that.
Frequency, only the two.
I am able as far.
Okay.
That is. According to this, it is. If they, I would.
Right.
This took like 30 goddamn minutes.
Yes.
I have.
Or is this another one? I don't know. Nope. All right. Here we go.
All right. I'll go to the coordinates and check out the source of the transmission.
All by yourself? Ha!
Oh yeah, we said. Oh my god. Oh god, there's more to talk to her about?
That was sneaky of you, patching in Varl and into our conversation.
I am pleased you. Is there something you wish to discuss before you depart?
Make sure you discuss it in a quiet, breathy voice. Oh my god.
The missing subordinate functions. What can you tell me about them?
Artemis rewilded the.
This is not the way I want to start, like, gaming. I want to do stuff, but I don't want to miss.
Gestating, nurturing, and acculturating a new generation of human beings.
I'm gonna guess skipping this isn't gonna change the story.
Vast archives of human knowledge.
It's not like if she doesn't talk to Gaia about this, that she's not gonna get somewhere on the map or something.
February 20.
Some part of the map isn't gonna be like closed off to us.
Pharaoh, huh? I really hate that guy.
Wait, I remember her saying that.
He appears to have been.
No, I feel like we did this then. I feel like we did this then.
Art.
I feel like we did this.
So, what you'll
I feel like we did this.
It is human, so I could give it.
There's just more of the stuff that wasn't saved. So now I choose which one I want to do. Wait, no, I did this one already though.
You mentioned that the superstorms have subsided. Is that ether at work?
Yes. Whether
I don't know. I assume we did this. There's so much dialogue. I don't know.
I'm how like a.
Okay. So
one, but it may.
I'll be.
Oh, there's more ether?
What?
Ether one given. Correct, though it
may.
Oh my god.
How's Cradle doing?
I detect that the loss of his arm still deeply pains him, though he has not voiced his thoughts. I may be able to assist in his recovery, should he be interested.
Really? I'm sure he will be. How are things around here?
Zoe has been studying the morphology of her land gods, in an effort to understand their sickness.
I know, and they all have dialogue. I feel like I need to get this out of the way, all the dialogue from all the individual people.
Correct their programming. However, Zoe and I are hopeful we will find an alternative.
Watch the end of this open up another branch of dialogue.
Keep at it.
Didn't, but there's still more to...
Varl and Zoe seem to like spending time together.
Indeed.
Oh, that's definitely, they're fucking kind of indeed.
References to a dietary lifestyle.
That's me!
Vegetarianism.
That's what I am.
She appreciated the similarities with Utaru practices and encouraged
I'd like to be vegan, I'm trying.
style.
And how did that go?
I believe they have agreed to disagree.
Oh my god. What other companions?
Handling things.
He is becoming increasingly accustomed to use of the focus. After an initial incident,
What did he do?
he unfortunately crushed his first focus as he attempted to affix it to his temple. Amongst a number of Oseram curses, I believe he also blamed the focus for being dainty. He has given repeated assurances that it will not happen again.
Well, good thing we have a lot of extras, I guess.
Oh my fuck.
So this facility, the Regional Control Center, it was meant to oversee the terraforming system?
For the local region? Yes. Had humans received their education from the Apollo database, they would have then been guided here to assume operation. As that never happened, this place remained vacant.
Until Minerva decided to settle here. So I guess this room was meant to keep an eye on conditions outside?
Yes. From here, the facility's operators would have been able to observe weather and machine activity in real time.
That would have been quite a sight.
It may still be possible to view some of them, should you find and reconnect the cameras to this room's console.
I'll keep a lookout.
There's that one tower with that satellite dish. That's not a camera. Is that one of the things that this is referring to?
So the Hades Proving Lab, where I found the Gaia kernel. It used to be a Pharaoh research facility?
Yes. Prior to appropriation by Zero Dawn, the facility was used to engineer and test advanced computer viruses. It appears to have been one of many research initiatives by Pharaoh Automated Solutions.
I guess it wasn't enough to build automated killing machines. He wanted viruses to infect them with too. So, a while back, before the battle at Meridian, I went into Banuk territory. I discovered another AI there, one not related to Zero Dawn. Cyan. It was created to oversee operations for a volcanic stabilization project, and it spent the last 1,000 years in isolation. I'm guessing you didn't know about it?
No. From the data on your focus, it seems that Cyan was cut off from the outside world, an effort by its creators to protect it from the Pharaoh Plague.
Any chance it could help us now?
I have already attempted contact, with no success. Given its previous experience with accepting an outside network request, I imagine it is unwilling to do so again.
Right. Because last time Hephaestus enslaved it. Well, that's too bad. I think the two of you would have had a lot to talk about. The processor Ether was installed on was part of an ancient war museum, a memorial to something called the Hot Zone Crisis. Do you know anything about it?
My knowledge of historical events was unfortunately lost with the Apollo database. However, climate data indicates a peak in regional temperatures in the 2030s. Such conditions would see extreme, prolonged droughts, an increase in dust storms, and a loss of habitable landmass.
But they wouldn't have built a museum in the middle of a wasteland. So I guess things got better eventually.
Yes. Data suggests that temperatures returned to average levels in the clawback era of the 2040s.
There was an ancient tank embedded in the bulwark, buried under a bunch of boulders. Any idea how it got there?
During the Pharaoh Plague, the US military resumed the use of human combatants, as automated machinery was unreliable. It is possible the vehicle was part of a pre-automated war fleet.
So they fought against the Pharaoh machines in the valley, until the mountain was blasted apart and buried them. So, Project Zero Dawn. The greatest minds in the world, all working to build the terraforming system while the Pharaoh Plague devoured the planet. What was it like?
Personnel worked in rotations, at all hours of the day. Resources and technology were secured from across the world. Within a month of the project's conception, I was launched and began my education. Elizabeth encouraged me to spend time with the rest of the Zero Dawn staff. She said it was important to experience many personalities and perspectives to aid in my emotional development.
What were they like?
Scared, hopeful, determined. They were hurtling toward technological achievements on a scale never before attempted. I owe everything to their dedication.
Gaia? What was Elizabeth like?
Her presence is interwoven with my memories. The moment I came online, she was there. We exchanged greetings, names, then set to our task. It was the first of many conversations. I enjoyed being in her company, listening to her stories. She was my creator, my guide.
Your friend.
Yes. When I reviewed the data on your focus, I was saddened to learn of her fate. Though I am glad she made it home. I deeply wish she did not have to be alone.
She was okay with that. She gave all of herself. The only one who could. Thanks, Gaia. I'll be on my way.
No.
I wish you safe travels.
What was this? Gaia has picked up a distress signal seemingly sent by Eleuthia, another of her missing subordinate functions, with help from Erend and Varl. Aloy must investigate. Is this one of the three that they... I think it's these two. Yeah, I think it's those two. Oh, wow. So there's even more things outside of the main things. 12? Oh, my God. Wait, did it not save? No, it's got these things. Increase the effectiveness of overriding machines and the durability and damage dealt from overridden machines. Oh. Still don't know why this circle on the bottom left and on the bottom right are not filled in. Is it because these aren't filled in? I really don't want to fire 3 of my arrows. I'm already running out of arrows fast. I need to upgrade my goddamn... Ouch. I don't seem to get my resonator blast going that much. Elemental capsules. I would like to unlock this. My God, now it's another hold R2, hold and release R2. Or a Nora Warrior combo, R1, R1, R. I can't remember all this shit. At least it unlocks this. Recover more and higher quality resources when deconstructing traps. Craft tools, traps, and potions faster. I don't really take less damage when triggering your own traps. This is like all traps. This whole thing is about traps. All right, let's see what else there is. Oh, I like that. I do use my concentration a lot. All right. Recover concentration faster. Whoa. Oh, I'm already out. Okay, well, so what else? There's some other thing going on, guys. Picked up a distress signal seemingly sent by some other of her missing subordinate functions with help from they must investigate. So we don't know what the fuck it really is. Okay. And there's a question mark. Oh yeah, I didn't talk to all the people around here either. But
Aloy, I was able
oh boy, there you are.
in the main living
And now somebody else is talking, so
Good to know. I'll check it out when I can.
which will be never.
There she is. You ready to head out?
I'd like to talk more.
Let's go.
Look at us. 3 battle-hardened badasses forging into the unknown. This ought to be good.
They're still fighting over vegetarianism or something?
This distress call had to be up a really steep mountain, huh?
All I do is climb mountains. You're complaining over one mountain? Gosh. Yeah. Sounds like a car or a truck.
Vermin.
What is that?
What the hell?
Is this the Carrie-Ann Moss character?
Well, that takes the keg.
Burrow, see if there's anything over there.
On it.
We'll check out the battlefield. Let's start with that zenith. Well, there are obviously more zeniths than we know about.
Oh,
Can't believe you fought one of them.
Almost didn't make it.
she's dead. I thought this was gonna be like a main boss. Okay.
Whatever the rebels did, it took down her shield. But why was she here? I can access her last communication file, but I'll use my focus to scan the battlefield too.
What about that crazy weapon the Zenith had?
It looked like she can make it come and go at will. But it's gone now.
Yeah. Well, go do your thing. I'll wait here.
He has told me there was a thing to press some data point, but you people were talking and I didn't want to interrupt you guys talking, but then the thing about the audio thing disappeared. So it didn't stay there. So now I'm not able to press triangle anymore. And I don't know which one of these billions of exclamation points it is. So I guess we won't be listening to that data point.
Forge's breath. What a mess.
Why isn't it letting... Oh. I don't scan it. Okay.
The Spectre had instructions to assist recovery of the asset. I wonder what this asset is.
You're the asset, obviously. Ooh. Data point discovered. Oh.
That's kind of chilly.
Well, if it's there, I assume that means we'll be needing to use it. Hey, at least we're out and about, not just talking.
Whoa. Yeah, it's kind of chilly up here.
An Oseram with a focus. Looks like he was sending data on the weapons somewhere else.
Why is what's-his-face down there start talking as soon as she starts talking?
Ah!
Yeah.
The weapon's still hot. I need to know how it worked. But I'll have to check on it once it's cooled off.
Sitting in snow, I would think it would cool off pretty fast, but... I don't know.
Looks like the rebels camped here for a while. Are they watching this area? Alright. I think I have an idea what happened here. I better get back to Erend. The wing's holding up?
All right, she who sees the unseen. What did you find out?
This was a carefully planned attack. I found camping gear up there. The rebels must have been staking out this place for at least a few days. They were waiting for the Zeniths to show up. All so that they could test that weapon. The Zeniths have a personal shield that makes them invulnerable, but somehow the weapon got rid of it. The Oseram that was operating it was sending data on it somewhere else. It was probably just a prototype.
I've known tinkers that do that. Do a little trial run before breaking out the real thing. Well, I guess it's still a work in progress, if it blew up.
She was searching for something she'd lost. Her drone had instructions to recover something called the asset.
The asset? Is that the sub-function thing that you said could be here? Eleuthia?
I'm not sure. Come on, let's go talk to Varl.
Wonder if we're gonna go down into that tunnel. Oh, SOS coordinates. Oh, it's another mission where we're in a Big metal facility. All right. But you have to pass through the gate.
Way down.
The gate of long dialogue.
Looks recent.
Whatever it was, it must have been powerful. That Zenith the rebels killed was looking for something called the asset.
Asset.
But my guess is it's somewhere down there.
All right, so we head down.
No.
Erend,
I go alone.
stand watch. That Zenith isn't the only one of its kind. I don't want to be caught by surprise if the others show up. Contact us by focus if you see anything.
Okay. Any trouble shows up, I'll call you.
Let's go.
Watch this, Varl. Yeah.
There's some kind of old world ruin down here.
You said the Zeniths have their own backup of Gaia, right?
Nope.
From the proving.
Oh, I did? Okay.
So maybe they were after Eleuthia. Found its hiding spot, so it sent the distress signal.
Maybe.
Ooh. We're getting a preview. I don't think I was supposed to see that yet. But wow, yeah, it ripped. Wow, I'm actually just realizing what the hell happened. Whoa. I was too busy being excited that I could show off my sick moves. Wait, what was that? Oh shit. No. What the fuck? Thank you. Fucking hell. Why is that so difficult? Oh my god. I'm telling you, this entire game from top to bottom just isn't made by the same people that, by people that have the same kind of mind as me. And I don't know when the hell I'm supposed to be getting health. I don't know when the hell I'm supposed to be crafting. I'm always getting killed as soon as I scan something. Always getting killed as soon as I craft something. Unable to follow the plot. Unable to climb.
Looks like some kind of data center. I might be able to access the facility systems from that console.
The width of the, or whatever, the zoom of the camera, I want it to be wider, but it won't let me change that, so the game developers think this is good. She moves way too fast when she needs to be going slow, and she moves way too slow when she needs to be moving fast.
I've never seen a transmitter like this before. Looks like it's self-destructed. This was a Far Zenith research lab. It looks like a lot of data was beamcast from here recently. From that device nearby.
So Eleuthia's gone?
If it was ever here, then probably. But then why were the Zeniths still searching for the asset? Let's keep looking around.
So, exploring another far zenith ruin.
At least this one doesn't seem to have giant killer machines.
Or anything you can blow up. All this stuff. Wonder what they were doing here.
Well, knowing Far Zenith, probably discovering amazing things. For their own benefit.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Ectogenic chambers. Like the ones I saw inside a Zero Dawn Cradle facility.
What were they for?
Remember when I told you I was made, not born? This is how.
A machine that makes a person. That's incredible.
Yeah. This place is huge. Some kind of storage room, maybe.
Maybe the asset is in here somewhere.
If it is, somehow the Zenith couldn't find it. Let's look around.
Find anything that might tell us what the asset is?
I don't think so. So, how is Erend taking all of this? Really?
Well, Gaia, the Zeniths, the Focus. It's a lot. But when I caught up to him in the Daunt and said you needed our help, he dropped everything and turned around.
Well, he's loyal. That's for sure. A rush of air. A control console to access the storage units.
Can it tell us if the asset is in one of them?
Well, let's find out.
"236 containers in storage. Please enter the container number you'd like to retrieve."
236? Wasn't there a number in the distress signal?
You're right. I should check the log.
Okay, I went back into the video and he said, wasn't there something in the distress signal? So I'm looking all over for anything that says distress signal, and this does. Okay, 237. All right.
236 containers in storage. Please enter the container number you'd like to retrieve.
Ah. One more than they say there is.
Aloy. It's you. Skin's like ice. Must have cut this from her head. But why?
Alan Smith. Apologies, I don't know what else to call you. My name is Beta. I'm afraid I must be brief. I only have a few minutes before my keepers discover I'm missing, and I still need to remove this implant. I had hoped to find shelter with you, but if you're viewing this, I may be dead. Be careful when you take on Farsiness. They are ruthless, and they have Eleuthia, Artemis, and Apollo now. But at least I don't have the Gaia kernel to merge them with. You must succeed. Oh, this was all for nothing. Good luck. And goodbye. So she's
still alive.
We need to get her back to...
Oh shit, they can fly? Aloy! Aloy, can you hear me through this thing?
What's going on, Erend?
2 of those Spectre things just fell out of the sky. One of them is heading down towards you. The other one's waiting up here.
We're coming up. Stay in cover until I get there.
You got it.
Get her to cover in that room. Whatever happens, she stays with us.
I'll protect her.
I should prepare before the Spectre gets here. I can't let it get through to Varl and the clone. Here it comes! Ooh, ugly one, aren't you? Gotcha! I should scan that thing. See if it has any weak spots. That thing's quick! Corroding its armor. Oh! There!
Are you okay, Aloy?
Yeah, I'm heading up top. Stay down here with the clone for now.
Got it. I'll follow once the coast is clear.
Gotta get back up top and deal with that other Spectre. I just hope Aaron stays in cover.
Aloy! Ah!
Aaron!
Yeah, the Spectre's dug its heels in. It's got me pinned down.
Hang tight, I'm almost there.
Just hurry.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. I gotta get to Aaron. Aaron, I'm here.
Watch out! That thing's shooting down the center.
Stay put. I'll see what I can do.
And the second you need me, I'm there.
Spectre's not budging from that spot. I might be able to sneak up on it if I stay out of its line of fire. It's got some kind of shield up. I need to sneak around behind it. It'll be a tough fight if I take that thing head on. The shield will take a lot of damage from acid. Shield's down! It's on the move! Oh! A heavy weapon. That could help.
Hey, get out of there!
Much better.
And I can keep this going. Aloy! Ammo! Yeah! Hey, you up? Aloy! You okay? Don't you go dying on me! Can't beat knocking around for. Aloy, you need help? It's done.
For once, a fight felt like I knew what I was doing.
Look, I swear I'm not drunk, but right now I'm seeing double.
Long story, but it'll have to wait.
She needs a healer, but we need to get her back to the base immediately.
Right. Yeah. Well, what are we waiting for then?
You two go on ahead. I need to take another look at that weapon.
I need to take another look at that weapon. Wow.
Figure out how that thing works. Maybe the Zeniths won't be so invincible after all. Snow's melting on my clothes. No! Damn it. Well, it's better than nothing. I need to get the weapon fragment to Gaia to analyze. If we can replicate it, maybe we'll have a way to defeat the Zeniths. I should check on the clone, too. Varl, where's our guest?
We're in the maintenance corridor below the control room.
Okay.
Aloy, glad you made it back okay. She panicked after waking up and stumbled down here. I thought it best to wait for you.
I'll talk to her. Hello? It's Beta, right? My name's Aloy. What's wrong? Is it your injury?
Simulacrum withdrawal syndrome.
I don't understand.
Sudden removal of a neurologically integrated data device. The brain, especially the cerebellum, goes into a kind of sensory freefall. Everything real feels unreal. Distant.
Is there anything that can help?
Do you have a focus to spare? It's primitive, but I can make it work.
Yeah.
Booting up. So, Aloy, I suppose you want information.
About you and the Zeniths? Yeah. Why are they here? What do they want? How did they get you? But let's start the beginning. I'm guessing they faked the destruction of their ship 1,000 years ago?
That seems consistent with their behavior. They wouldn't want to be followed.
So far, Zenith established a colony world after all.
Yes, for a few hundred years, but it didn't last. Some sort of natural disaster rendered it uninhabitable.
Okay, so the descendants of Far Zenith escaped a dying planet, and now they want to claim Earth for themselves?
Not their descendants.
What?
Not their descendants. It's them. The same ones who left Earth 1,000 years ago. You didn't know?
How can they still be alive? They don't even look... What did they do to themselves?
I believe it's a combination of pharmaceutical, cellular treatments, and technological implants.
And you? Does that mean that you're...
I'm not like them. I was made. On the way to Earth. On the ship. I spent years studying in my training interface, all so that I could serve my function.
Access and control of the terraforming system. But why? What do the Zeniths want with it?
When I discovered the Zero Dawn system had disseminated into its subcomponents, I thought my purpose was to fix it. But I don't think the Zeniths want that at all. I think they want to wipe Earth clean and start over.
So the Zeniths want to exterminate life on Earth. That's what Gaia and I concluded too. But why? Why kill everyone just to take over?
When they took me on missions with them, I saw how they butchered the tribal people we encountered. They didn't seem to care about a rejuvenated Earth, so I concluded that they must want a hard reboot of the system. Then they can redesign it to be exactly what they want.
Mass extinction for their own comfort? Who thinks like that? Well, without their Gaia kernel, they'll have...
Okay, so this is based very much on what's going on today. how all the billionaires, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, are creating spaceships. They say they want to have space travel for everyone, but we all know it's just for themselves. So they can escape Earth that they know is deteriorating. But it's an interesting idea of that they might go to space and then realize there isn't really any other options to replace Earth. Or none at all are not good enough. And they'd want to make their way back. And also when you travel away from Earth really fast, time slows down for you. So you can come back to Earth and be not as old as everyone else. I thought that's what they were going to say. Not that they had pharmaceuticals, but I'm sure that could be something too. And freeze yourself, sure.
The Zeniths needed Elizabeth's gene print to access Zero Dawn facilities. So they made you. Trained you. And you went along with it? They told me I was born to interface with the Zero Dawn system. When we reached Earth, I pieced together what must have happened to Gaia and her subordinate functions. That's when I started to realize I wasn't meant to fix Gaia. That they must have made me so I could do what their remote extinction signal failed to do. Reboot Earth for their own benefit. So you know about the extinction signal? It was speculation, but the only logical conclusion why Gaia suddenly self-destructed after operating efficiently for centuries. Gaia would have only undertaken such a desperate course of action if it had detected a threat to life on Earth that was more dangerous than ceasing function altogether. I should have realized that she would also order the recreation of Elizabeth Sobek to rebuild her. Yeah, well, surprise.
What's with that eye roll? From Beta.
So we're dealing with the same Far Zenith people who once lived on Earth. What else do you know about them?
They were some of the most affluent and powerful people on Earth. They controlled almost every major resource, every industry. Gerard commands them. He's the one who decided to set up a base.
Like I said, Elon Musk and
Tilda for Bena.
Jeff Bezos.
They resent his authority over them, but in the end, they always do what he says.
Eric. He's the one I fought back in the Hades Proving Lab.
He enjoys hurting people.
Yeah, I know. You mentioned the Zenith set up a base here on Earth. Where is it?
Off the coast, I think. Whenever I had to go on missions, I was transported inside of a Spectre drone. I couldn't see anything outside. But I did overhear the Zeniths talking about it once. They were discussing setting up a perimeter energy shield to repel the local fauna. I'm certain they have other security measures. Spectre patrols, machine lures. It must be impregnable.
What's inside the base?
Launch facilities, so they can shuttle back and forth to their ship in orbit. Plus infrastructure to gather materials and fabricate anything they need.
Are there more Zeniths than the ones you met?
I'm not sure. I suppose there must be more of them in the base or back on the ship. For all I know, there could be more of them out in space, other survivors of the colony.
You said the Zenith's colony in the Sirius system was destroyed. What happened?
All I was ever told was that a natural disaster forced them to leave Sirius. I've speculated that it was an extrasolar object or a cataclysmic seismic event. Or maybe even an abnormally violent coronal mass ejection from Sirius A.
The Zeniths never told you any details.
They said the only thing that mattered was that they survived. First Earth, 1,000 years ago, and then Sirius.
Guess they survived old age, too. How did you escape the Zeniths?
Before the Hades Proving Lab, I never thought I'd get away from them. Even if I were to run. I'd never survive on my own in the wilds. But then I saw you. And I thought that maybe you could help me. So when the Zeniths pinpointed Eluthia's location in the biomedical research facility, I saw an opportunity.
You said you saw an opportunity to escape when you went to capture Aletheia. What did you do, exactly?
Whenever I was taken out on a mission to recover a subordinate function, only one of the Zeniths would go with me.
The one the rebels killed, outside the facility.
Baina's dead? How did they bypass her shield?
I'm looking into it. But you were talking about your escape?
Well, when it was time to use the Zenith's transmitter to send Aletheia back to base, I also sent the encrypted transmission. Then I distracted Verbena long enough to seal myself in the ectogenic chamber, altering the facility's log so it appeared that there were only 236 containers.
And the Gaia root kernel?
I told them I could capture Aletheia faster if I had it with me, and they believed me.
Well done. You said you were born on the way to Earth. In an artificial womb, I'm guessing?
The Zeniths had an ectogenic chamber aboard the ship. An updated version of the one you found me in. They must have used a stored sample of Elizabeth's DNA.
I doubt Elizabeth would have let them take her DNA. Do you know how they got it?
That wasn't part of the archive I was allowed to access.
You said you spent years studying in a training interface. Was this archive you mentioned part of that?
But only the parts I was permitted to access. Aristotle and Aspasia, the avatars of the archive, would assign me learning modules and evaluate my progress.
Wait, those names. They were designed to be the virtual guides for the Apollo database, before Ted Faro purged it.
The Zeniths have a copy.
So it still exists. And you got to learn from it.
Only what was deemed pertinent to the mission. If I requested information outside of my parameters, my tutors would deny it.
To have all that knowledge, just out of reach. Must have been frustrating. All right, I think that's enough for now. Do you want to come upstairs, or...?
So how long? You know, your plan. How long before Gaius fabricated a machine army to defeat the Zeniths?
How did you know?
Optimal strategy, so?
Well, I still have to get 2 more subordinate functions before Gaia's powerful enough to absorb Hephaestus.
What? You don't have Hephaestus already?
Gaia's still figuring out how to capture it. It's not confined to a single... To a single location! Of course not!
You didn't even know who the Zeniths really are.
You were supposed to be further along by now!
Coming here was a mistake. They're gonna find me. They're gonna find this place and take me back. This was all for nothing.
They're not going to find us. Gaia's using Minerva to mask our location.
What difference does it make? You're too far behind. We're never going to beat them. Everything. Everyone. They're gonna die.
Hey. Calm down. You're here now, right? So is there anything you can do to help?
I have certain knowledge sets. And given your state of progress, expertise you probably lack. Geoengineering, of course. Computer science, physics, biology, chemistry.
Sick burn.
Well, see if you can
Sick
use
burn, Beta.
Talk to Gaia. I'll check on you later.
How'd it go?
Her injury's not that bad, but I think she regrets coming here. Feeling might be mutual.
I'll come back later and talk to her. See if I can learn anything.
I should get the weapon fragment to Gaia.
I wouldn't have taught you the song if I didn't like the way you sing it.
So you like hearing me butcher Utar?
Erend? You okay?
Huh? Oh, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't I be?
'Cause there's 2 of me now.
There's 2 of you now! At least you seem to be handling it okay.
I wouldn't say that exactly, but I'm trying. Did you speak with Beta at all?
She didn't really wake up till we brought her here. And when she did, I thought it'd be better if Zoe and Varl took care of her. No use crowding someone when they're in a state.
How are you settling in?
Varl's been helping me get the lay of the land, when he's not getting all tongue-tied. I don't know who makes him more nervous, that Gaia lady or our new Utaru friend.
What about the Vanguard? Aren't you supposed to be back east, ordering them around?
I sent some of them back to Meridian with a message. I doubt Avad'll mind me sticking around to help the savior of Meridian.
So, you've met our new Tanakh friend.
He's, quiet. I thought his people were supposed to be bloodthirsty maniacs.
You shouldn't believe everything you hear.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you trust him, so do I.
I see Varl gave you a focus.
Well, it doesn't look as fashionable on me, but by the Forge, the things I've been able to see. Granted, a lot of them are bad, you know, the old world ending and such. I'm still trying to wrap my head around most of it, but I never really understood how you were ever able to find my sister back in the Sundom. And now I do, sort of. It makes me feel like I could be useful, you know?
It takes some time, but yeah. What are you working on with your focus?
I'm still figuring out how to read stuff on this thing. Those two lovebirds over there have been giving me a hand. But to be honest, all the little symbols give me a headache. But I'll get up to speed, I promise.
What you reading next?
I saw Gaia added something to the archives about metal rods being used to harness lightning during storms. It reminded me of a cousin of mine. Thought he could trap lightning if he covered himself in Stormbird plates. Went up the tallest mountain in the claim to prove it. It ended like a lot of Oseram things do. With a spark and a boom.
I guess you know what we're up against by now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When Varl first told me those bastards come from the stars, I thought he'd eaten too many of those medicinal berries. Yeah, but I've gotten used to seeing impossible things. Thanks to you. I just wish they weren't always trying to kill us.
Yeah, you and me both. I have to get going.
Don't go causing too much trouble.
Aloy.
Hey, thought I'd, check in on how you're doing.
You mean after meeting someone who looks exactly like you, but isn't you, down in the basement? Guess this must be even stranger for you than it is for us, huh?
A little.
Varl said she may be able to help us in our mission, though.
Maybe. You've spoken with Cradle?
A few words. Tanakh don't have much use for us outsiders. You must have made quite the impression for him to offer his fealty.
So you've been talking to Gaia?
Yes. She was kind enough to take me through some of the history of the Old Ones, including their demise and the heroic actions of her creator, Elizabeth Sobek. I was surprised to see she was you. Past, but reborn? Not that I claim to understand how.
You said you met Beta?
Varl mentioned she was hurt. I thought I'd offer her an extract to soothe the pain.
That was kind of you.
I just hope she doesn't plan on staying burrowed down there like that. She looks like she's barely seen the light of day as it is.
You mentioned you've been teaching yourself how to read?
Yes. Gaia was kind enough to put together a list of glyphs used by the Old Ones. She helped me decipher some of the data you've collected, and showed me how to use the focus to help the process. It's not easy, but it's been working so far.
That's good to hear. I see you've settled in.
Gaia did say this place was built for us, so we could regain control of our lands with her terraforming system. Nurture them like the land gods do Plainsong's fields. It does strike me as odd that a place of life should have so much metal.
What else have you been up to?
I've been studying Gaia's seedlings, the subfunctions. I wanted to understand why one of them would do what they did to Fa. Imagine my surprise when I looked into this Hephaestus and found out it helped create all machines, our land gods included. In a way, the Utaru owe Hephaestus our whole way of life, as well as our current troubles.
That's why we have to make Gaia whole again. Learn anything interesting lately?
There's been much to read up on now that Ether has been reunited with Gaia. It's hard to imagine that machines like stormbirds once helped heal the skies. I used to be terrified of them as a child. Thunder still brings chills to my skin. But everything Gaia creates has a purpose, no?
Yeah. And if we can get Hephaestus back, she can get those stormbirds in line. Did Gaia tell you anything about the Zeniths?
She did. Though it wasn't exactly easy to believe. To think that there are places among the stars where life can bloom as it does here. It is humbling, to say the least. And heartbreaking that such life should be bent on destroying ours.
So, how does a tribe like the Utaru manage to maintain the peace with warriors like the Tenakth?
By holding them off. When our fields bloomed aplenty, the Tenakth looked upon our lands with envy. But Plainsong's dishes provided sanctuary and high ground to keep invaders at bay. In the end, even the Tenakth saw sense in a truce. The Utaru promised to provide the Tenakth with food from our crops every year. In exchange, the Tenakth would relinquish one of their own, a veteran, to train the Utaru in combat. This custom was abandoned a few years after the derangement. But some veterans still remain in the plains.
I've been meaning to ask, what's the deal with you and the chorus? You didn't seem to be on the best of terms.
That's what happens when you're the one Utaru who insists on publicly defying them. Twice. When the Karja invaded the Utaru plains, they did more than just attack our villages. They burned our fields, took our people as slaves, and murdered those who were too weak to make the trip back to Meridian.
To be sacrificed in the Sun Ring.
I was helping the healers back then, as waves of refugees swarmed into Plainsong. The chorus was divided in how to face the invaders. Some saw sense in raising arms. Others believed the dishes would keep us safe, as they had many times before. And while they bickered, I buried the seeds of the fallen.
It couldn't have been easy. Seeing your people suffer while the Karja invaded your lands.
I come from a small village near Plainsong. My grandmother used to say there was no seed that wouldn't grow there. I moved to the dishes when I decided to apprentice as a healer. When the Red Raids began, I thought about going back. But the injured kept pouring into Plainsong, day after day. So I kept putting it off. One day, I woke up to hear a Karja raiding party had ransacked my village during the night. I rushed there with the healers to help the survivors, but there weren't any left. The smell of burning flesh haunts me to this day.
I'm sorry, Zoe.
I made it a point to appear before the chorus as soon as we returned, to demand that we take a stand against the invaders. I was denied. So I left to fight on my own.
You said you set out to fight the Karja alone?
I did. But it turned out I wasn't the only one. News of my disagreement with the chorus spread through the plains. Before I knew it, I had more than a dozen Utaru warriors ready to follow me into battle. We knew we couldn't take on the Karja armies head-on, but we also knew the lay of the land better than they did. We ambushed smaller raiding parties, sabotaged their supply lines, and hit their encampments at night.
Sounds like you were a force to be reckoned with.
Enough that the Tenakth took notice. When the clans began to push the Karja back east, they let us join their ranks. We chased the enemy all the way to Barren Light.
You said you were at Barren Light when the Tenakth defeated the Karja?
Tenakth marshals climbed the cliffs of the Daunt under cover of night, then attacked from the other side. Before we knew it, the gates were open, and the full force of the clans burst through. What happened next was not something I like to remember. When all the dust and blood settled, I smelled it again. The stench of burnt flesh. Our enemies defeated. What was left of my squad returned to the Utaru Plains. I went back to Plainsong. But even as the harvests passed, it didn't feel like I'd truly returned at all.
Is that when you became a grave singer?
I thought soothing the suffering of others would somehow appease my own. Then you came along and gave me a choice. I could either sing at people's graves or fight for a chance to keep them alive.
I'm glad you chose the latter. I need to get going.
May the land bloom in your steps. Aloy, there are more supplies in the chest. Help yourself.
The old ones created so many wonderful inventions to help others, to help the planet. Technology really can be an amazing thing.
gets a mind of its own and decides to kill everyone. It's just a way of
The matriarchs would cry if they read this about the old ones.
Huh. Looks like someone's rearranged stuff in here.
Aloy, I see you found your room. Your companions thought you would appreciate a private space of your own.
That was thoughtful of them. This is the rite of passage that Vishav gave me at the embassy. I liked him. He seemed like a good man. I think he was really looking forward to going home. Looks like Gaia was able to unlock that door.
Funny how?
Yeah, they're close. They're weird. They're so tight. Yeah, this file's crazy. Why would anyone use oils for that?
Looks like someone's made this space their own.
I see you found Varl and Zoe's room, Aloy. I believe they wanted private accommodations.
I see.
Nothing. You just look good, that's all.
Hey, you and Aaron okay?
Nothing some rest can't take care of. Are you okay? This beta thing, it's a lot. Even for you.
Just trying to take it one step at a time.
Fair enough. If you need anything, just let me know.
How's everyone dealing with beta?
I tried explaining what a clone is to Aaron. He was totally lost. Then Zoe said something about 2 trees coming from 1 seed. That seemed to help a bit.
I'm guessing you've spoken with Cradle?
I wanted to pay my respects for those who fell when we were ambushed at the embassy. Told him I'd never seen anyone throw themselves at a machine like he did. He said a warrior shouldn't be praised for fulfilling their duty. For a second I thought I was talking to my mother. Never thought a Tanakh and a Nora war chief could have so much in common.
How's everyone handling their focus?
And we all have our difficult moments. Aaron definitely curses the most. But I'm hoping Oseram's stubbornness prevails.
How's everyone doing?
Just taking it all in. No one snapped their bowstrings yet.
I see everyone settling in.
Zoe's planning on bringing all kinds of plants in here. Says a home should always spring with life anew. I asked Aaron to help find some. I think he'd rather stick his head into a snap mall.
Still, it's not a bad idea. Should liven up the place. So, training with Zoe, huh?
Yes, training. Mostly. Look, she reads glyphs faster than I can already. I'd be a fool to refuse her help.
Of course. You guys reading something over there?
We just finished going through all the logs you collected back in Nora territory. And All Mother Mountain.
Now we're gonna read penthouse letters.
Trapped inside. Without the
and reenact them.
Guide them.
Wow.
Thanks to Ted Farrow.
Yeah. I wonder how it must have felt when they were finally free. The world must have seemed so beautiful.
Not to mention terrifying. They weren't much more than kids.
And they became an entire tribe.
It's good to see you and Zoe enjoying yourselves.
We're learning a lot. I've actually been looking through the data to find ideas for a gift, and to thank her for helping me study the glyphs. Something from the old world that she's never seen before. Instead, I found out they gave each other stuffed animals? If you ask me, stuffing a dead animal with anything, really, doesn't sound like a good time for anybody.
Maybe Gaia can help you find something else. Looks like I was wrong about the Zeniths. Their ship didn't explode on its way to Sirius like everyone thought.
And we saw how they lied about creating a better future at their launch facility. Guess they lied about what happened to their ship, too. But still, the tribe settling amongst the stars.
I couldn't put a single dent in their shields, Varl. That one Zenith almost killed me.
That didn't stop you from resurrecting Gaia. Won't stop us from using Hephaestus against them.
Let's hope that's enough. I should get back to the wilds.
I'll keep an eye on Beta. Make sure she's comfortable.
Okay.
Welcome back. Aloy, I see we have a new guest. So now we know the origin of the transmission.
Yeah. I also recovered this. The weapon it was part of somehow stripped a Zenith of its shield, but it malfunctioned and blew up. If we can recreate the weapon and improve it, maybe we'll gain the upper hand on the Zeniths.
A moment. I will scan it. Complete. By combining the results with data from your focus, I can infer that the weapon was highly advanced, comparable to Zenith technology, but not how it worked.
Did the explosion corrupt the data?
It was only a catalyst. The moment the weapon malfunctioned, it appears a command executed to purge all data within its core. Ostensibly, this was to prevent the weapon's secrets from falling into enemy hands. Whoever designed this weapon knew how to cover their tracks.
Silence.
Based on your data on him, that is my conclusion as well.
And he's not gonna cooperate with us. Well, it was worth a shot. But that's not all. The Zeniths got Eleuthia, along with Artemis and Apollo.
That is unfortunate. However, our original plan remains unchanged. The 2 remaining subordinate functions should increase my heuristic processing density enough to absorb Hephaestus.
Right. One problem at a time. Well, I guess I better get back out there.
I wish you luck on your search.
Right. Thanks, Gaia. So I guess we won't be making use of Cylon's weapon. And now there is another clone of Elizabeth here with us. But I can't let it distract me. I still have 2 more sub-functions to get.
Can't believe he basically stole home. I just watched a clip of someone stealing home and winning the game with another team. Was that Bohm that did that too? Because he's been having like kind of a rough... He's been having a rough time hitting, and at least he got on base. Oh my god. That's freaking crazy. Bouncing bomb? Hmm. Decide. Oh. Now I can. How do I like, because it doesn't save apparently when you do that. Oh god.
I know. It makes you want to punch something.
Maybe if I go outside, it'll save or something. I don't want to start this next mission. I just want to... After getting all those...
Oh, skin's cracking from the cold.
You can try out other valors or just by equipping them in the skill tree. Oh, each... Oh. Like this one right here. Ooh. Not enough skill points, but I activated it. Did we save? I don't know. I guess so. Alright, well. Cool. And Philly's just won? That was crazy. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.